We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. The tidings we bring to you and your kin. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
So here we have the Christmas jumper dress, I think we'll call it, will we? So here we have the bottom. I have already slip stitched the bottom of the dress, and as you may notice we have attached it with the hooks because I haven't checked whether it fits yet, and I've done a wee, it's a kind of a mini cowl. Here's the sleeves, there we are. So a little bit to go yet before the big reveal, but you can see that it is pretty much finished. You might notice in the background here we have cozy crochet blanket as well from, when did I start that? Was it July? Can't remember. It'll be in my other vlogs if you go back and look. So I'm still working on that, but it is really cozy and it's been much needed. Since I finished crocheting the Christmas jumper dress, I thought I would start another project because I have some red left over, you see. So this one I'm using a bigger hook for that, and yes, it is broken because it got sat on, but it's fine, it works alright. And this project is a little bolero jacket to go with this wee dress here. Actually, there's a story behind this dress. Now, this Twelder's redress is inspired by, well, it's inspired by Christian Dior and his Twelder's redress, but where did I see that? Well, I saw it on another very well-known channel that you may, some of you already know, called Chateau Diaries. So I had seen, when was that? 2 or 3 years ago, I can't even remember. I had seen Stephanie Jarvis speaking about her Twelder's redress, which is a vintage Christian Dior dress, and it was so gorgeous. I thought I would love a dress like that. I just love the fabric. I think it's a really pretty fabric. And I scoured the internet for it. Obviously couldn't find one or anything similar, so I had no choice but to make one. Now, this is coming from someone who's never even worked at a sewing machine before since they were 10 years old, and has certainly never made a dress, and I'm definitely by no description a seamstress. But it was lockdown and I like a challenge, so I thought, well, why not try and make myself a Twelder's redress? If I get a dress at the end of it, well then that's a bonus. But yes, that is where I had first seen it. I'll leave a link in the description, as if I need to leave a link in the description. I'm sure you all already know the channel. It wouldn't be right to not leave a link in the description of the place that inspired me to make such a garment. It's different from the Christian Dior dress. I decided to make a few modifications, so the straps I can alter, so I can put the straps on and have them as normal straps at the back, but I also made it that I could turn it into a halter neck if I wanted, which I've just left it as because it's just really easy to work with. And I also put a split in, as you may have noticed. Again, none of these details are done the right way, because I'm not a tailor or a seamstress. My mum is actually much better a seamstress than I was. The reason we're even speaking about it is because I'm trying to make a little bolero cardigan to go with it, because as you might have noticed, it's a summer dress. I have in the past sometimes worn it on Christmas Eve, and I do think it's a festive fabric because it must be the red and white, but as you might imagine, especially in these parts, it's not the coziest at this time of year. So it's always been on my mind to buy a wee red, maybe a shrug or a cardigan or something. But after finishing the crochet Christmas jumper dress, I've got red left over, so I thought, well, where's the sense in buying when I can just make one? It's just something to take the chill off, you know? Speaking of chill, how cold has it been in the last week or so? Certainly where I am, it's been absolutely freezing, and that's inside and out. Could not heat even the house up. The hot water bottle wasn't even hitting the mark. Absolutely freezing. Do you know that way it's so cold you can barely even function or even think straight? Now, I'm not a Viking anyway, but I definitely wouldn't fare well in any of these challenges that people do, you know, expeditions to the Arctic and all this, or maybe even a cruise to the fjords or something. It's funny how I'm into Scandinavian Christmases, isn't it, when I can't stand the cold. It's a bit ironic. Obviously I love the summer and heat and sun, so with it being the middle of winter, the one saving grace is that the Scandinavians celebrate the 13th of December as St. Lucia, and that they celebrate that as a festival of light. I've always celebrated the 21st of December because it's the winter solstice. So from that point forward, the nights start getting lighter because we're then on the way to summer, you see? But yes, much as I would love to have done the whole Vlogmas thing, doing a video every single day just isn't going to happen. I don't have the energy for it. So I thought I would do, which might be a bit easier for me, the 12 days of Christmas, starting with the St. Lucia day. So, candle making. Since it's St. Lucia, I thought a good way to celebrate that, as well as the saffron buns, a beeswax candle. I mean, that is literally bringing light into the darkness, isn't it? Picked up this wee candle holder in a charity shop for a couple of pounds, and it looks quite festive, and it is kind of shiny and sparkly, so it will reflect light, so it's in the same theme, isn't it? Well, we are using beeswax, as you might imagine. Never tried it, so let's give it a go. I'm not sure which flavours I want to use yet. There's a candle wick that I remembered that I had. Let's do some candle making on St. Lucia Day. I have my wee measuring jug here, so let's get started before this cools down. Right, well, I think we have just about enough wax at the moment. Then what we'll do, we'll just set up the wick, and then we'll go and melt the wax, and then we'll put the flavours into the wax, and then we just pour it into our little glass jar. I mean, how easy is that? Still have the saffron buns to go. I'm just waiting on the dough proving. Right, so let's get this wick happening. I've never done this before, as I've also never made Swedish saffron buns either. This is all new to me, but let's give it a go. How hard can it be? I'll put a bit extra on so I can tie it, because we're going to tie it to a pencil. And sit the pencil across like so. So we'll need to go and melt the wax now, and we'll check how the saffron dough is getting on at the same time. Now, I'm not going to share me melting the wax because you've seen me doing that before. Now, while we're waiting on the wax melting, let's have a look at the oils. So we have juniper, just for a bit of freshness. We have a cinnamon apple one, which is a bit like chai, and then we have a bit of benzoin as well, which is normally used by perfumers as a fixative, so it kind of lengthens the life of a scent. It does have a sort of chocolatey scent to it. So it has the festive flavour and everything, and it's lovely, but it has a freshness to it as well. It'll do for a first attempt. Obviously I could have used my usual types of flavours like rose and ginger, which I might do, yeah, this is only the first candle. Right, we have the wax melted. Let's put in the oils. But let's leave it to set we can then trim it off and light it, and then we can finally celebrate St. Lucia. We'll maybe even manage to get the saffron buns done in time as well. We'll have a wee look at the dough, shall we? Well, I'm not so sure about the saffron dough. It doesn't seem to have risen very much. I did put enough yeast in it, but we'll see. It is the first time I've done it. Right, we'll be trying this again on the 21st. There's a few points that I might have missed. For instance, you're supposed to roll the dough into a sausage and then curl it into a kind of spiral. They're not really lucicatin though, are they? I kind of missed that bit somewhere in the recipe, but you live and learn. I didn't have any reasons, so I used red currants. I'm sure they're lovely. They'll be good for breakfast. And see, by the 21st, I'll know exactly what I'm doing. They're quite bouncy. If we can actually get celebrating St. Lucia on the 13th of December before midnight, I'll consider it a success. I think the candle may be set enough for us to at least take the pencil off. So hopefully I can maybe use this up relatively quickly and then make a rose and ginger one. So there we go. A little festive candle, the apple cinnamon chai. So now that we've got the candle all done, let's go and look at the buns. So here we go. We have the wee candle and we have the lucicatin, and it is very yellow with the butter in it. So yes, and you know what? It's not even midnight. Moral of the story, follow the recipe. But I would say it's quite springy. That tastes alright actually. I would say it's probably a bit like maybe brioche. I think I was making them again though. I don't think this is traditional, but what I would do is I would probably put cinnamon or something in them and probably more berries. So I'm quite pleased with them. They're just in the wrong shape. But I would call that a success, definitely. Let's see what the candle's like then. I've got a wee lighter here. Let's turn off the big light and get a better look. Oh, that's lovely. Look at that. I love that. Yes, that's definitely giving St. Lucia vibes, isn't it? And we have our little lucicatin, which isn't really lucicatin. I think that's a success. I think we could meditate right now, couldn't we? We might save that for another day. But if you're celebrating St. Lucia, then happy St. Lucia. Let's welcome in the light, shall we? Just take a minute to think about the summer coming back in. Hopefully treating each other kindly and looking forward to the days getting longer again. It's not far away now. Summer's not that far away.